Are you ready to increase your self-awareness so that you can truly enjoy living a more fulfilling and authentic life? Well, come join me. Let's grow together. I'm Yolanda, and I am so excited to chat with you today, to talk about the importance of self-awareness, and to talk about ways that we can improve our self-awareness. So just real quickly, a little about myself. I help to empower and motivate career-driven women, Gen Xers like myself, to set authentic intentions by developing healthy habits, behaviors, and strategies that will help us to elevate our mind so that we can enjoy the rewards of living a more authentic life. So today I want to talk about self-awareness. Well, I know you're probably thinking, not self-awareness. That's another one of those buzzwords that they use all the time. Well, I will say this. The self-awareness is very important because it is one of the keys, the foundations to living a more authentic life. So, what really does it mean to be self-aware? Well, self-awareness helps us to discover more about ourselves. So we know who we are. So we learn how to embrace our identity. So we learn to accept ourselves. So we know how to react in certain situations. So we know what makes us tick. So we know exactly who we are. So we feel confident in ourselves. So self-awareness is so important. And it starts with self-reflection. It starts with mindfulness training because we all know that it starts in the mind. So I'm going to talk about, actually there's 10 things, but I'm only going to go over 5 today. So this is part 1 of a 2-part series. So I'm going to go over the first 5 things that we can do to increase our self-awareness. So, number 1, we need to notice our thought patterns. It is so important to know, what are you thinking throughout the day? What are you thinking when you're just walking, or if you're at work sitting at your desk? Yes, you may have your mind on your work, but a lot of times we're thinking about other things. Do you think in the past? Are you thinking about stuff that you didn't do yesterday or earlier in the day? Or are you thinking about the future? What you need to do tomorrow, a week from now? Do you not concentrate and think about the present moment? Because a lot of times we miss out on life because we're so focused, worried about things that happened in the past, or we're thinking about the future instead of worrying about, or not worrying about, so that was the wrong term to use, instead of focusing on and enjoying the present moment. So number 1, notice your thoughts. How are your thought patterns? That brings us to number 2, acknowledging your feelings. It is so important to acknowledge your feelings, regardless of what it may be, whether you're mad or sad. Realize, why do you feel that way? Think about it throughout the day. Why do you feel frustrated? What are those things that make you get upset? Even if it's the little bittiest things, it's just acknowledging when that feeling occurs and recognizing it. So it's very important to acknowledge our feelings so we can express ourselves, but we also need to know what makes us feel that way. So again, the first thing is to notice your thought patterns, and number 2 is to acknowledge your feelings. Number 3, we need to understand how we deal with frustrations and how we deal with difficult situations. Are you the type of person that fights or flights or freeze? Now, I can tell you from experience, for me, I used to be a fighter. I'm telling you, I would fight to the end. I was one of them people, I'm not freezing for nobody. I'm going to stay there and fight for everything that I believe in. You know, especially when I was young, just the way that I was raised, just coming from Philly, just growing up kind of in the hood and had to defend yourself, and then also joined the military. I was in the military for almost 29 years, and so I've always been in that aggressive fight mode. Even in the military, as I got to my later years, I've learned how to fight my battles, when to freeze. I don't really fight that much, but there are moments when you do need to fight, but you have to understand yourself. You have to understand how you are wired and what are those things that make you want to go into fight mode. And then you need to figure out what are your strengths, how do you nurture those strengths, and then if you have weaknesses, you need to learn what habits do I need to put into place so that I can develop and grow and change those negative things that I am doing. So, again, number 1, notice your thought patterns. Number 2, you're going to acknowledge your feelings. And number 3, understand how you deal with difficult situations and frustrations. So, that brings us to number 4. Examine your friendships. Now, some of us have friends. Some people like to say acquaintances. You know, throughout our lifetime, you may have 2 or 3 good friends that you may have had all the way through childhood and even now as adults. But again, examine how do you choose your friends? What are your friends' characteristics? Are they like you? Do you look at people because of their strengths? Or are you the type of person that you get friends where you feel like you are in control? So it's a saying that is very important to me throughout my life, and it was one that goes, if you are the smartest person in your circle, then you're in the wrong damn circle. And that is so true, because I know for me growing up, I used to always dumb myself down just so I could be in the in crowd. And I'm not saying anything bad about anyone, but you know, when you know that you want to do things better, and you know that you not smarter, but you just know that you want more out of life. But I would just not be that way around people because I wanted to be in the in crowd, you know. And so when you're young, and even people as you get older, sometimes we try to fit in places where we know we don't belong in, that we know go against our values, but we just want to be a part of that crowd for whatever reason it is. So you have to figure out, is that you? Are you that type of person? I know for me, I always want to be around people who are positive, that's going to bring value into my life. And so for me, I'm always trying to be around like-minded individuals, or those individuals who have been there and done that before me, that I can also grow and learn from. So I spent a little time on this one because examining your friends is very important, because that will tell you a lot about yourself. That goes into number 5. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, number 5. So number 5 is examine your close relationships and your intimate relationships. Now, if you are single and you continue to meet the same person over and over and over again, meaning a different face, different body, but the same characteristics, then you need to examine what's going on with you. What is it? What makes you be attracted to that person that you're always attracted to? Are you the type of person who needs to be in control? Are you the type of person who's clingy or needy? If you're married, look at your communication skills. Do you and your significant other really talk to one another? Are y'all really good friends? Is it things that you can do to improve your communication skills? Do you work so much? Are you too ambitious that you put your career over your relationships? These are things that will really tell you a lot about yourself. So if you really want to be self-aware, you first need to reflect and really examine your relationships, whether they're your friendships or whether they're your intimate relationships. So I'm going to recap real quick. Number one, notice your thought patterns. Your thought patterns are very important. Everything starts in the mind. So what are you thinking? Are you thinking in the past, or are you thinking in the future? Or do you think in the present moment? And what do you need to do more of? Number two, acknowledge your feelings. Your feelings are valid. Don't think that they're not. However, you need to realize what makes you feel a certain way when you're in certain situations. So your feelings are very important, and they align with your thought patterns. Number three is to understand how you deal with frustration in difficult situations. Do you fight? Do you flight? Or do you freeze? And what makes you go into those different modes? Those are very important and will help you to understand yourself better. Number four, examine your friendships. That will tell you a lot about yourself. Do your friends exhibit the characteristics that you have? Are they similar? Or are there something that you want to be? Or even examine, even if it was friendships that have ended, what caused the ending of those friendships. So examining your friendships are important. And lastly, examine your relationships, your close, intimate relationships. How do you communicate? How do you act? Why are you attracted to certain people? This is very important. And when I say intimate relationships and close relationships, we're not just talking about a significant other or your spouse. We're also talking about, it could be parents, it could be your children, it could be a really, really close friend that you had your whole life. So examine those close relationships, close and intimate relationships. So I hope you truly enjoyed my very first YouTube video. I am so excited about this journey that we're about to embark on. So follow me for part 2 of ways to increase your self-awareness, and also show me some love and subscribe so that you can get more tips and strategies to help you to elevate your mind so that you can truly enjoy living a more fulfilling and authentic life. So be blessed and know that you are a queen, and there is no one like you, no one who can be you, no one who can do the things that you do, because you are unique, you are one of a kind, and you are more than enough. Again, be blessed. Peace.